All right, let's dive into a story that takes us right back to the brink of World War II. We're looking at the novel Spring Journey, and it's this powerful tale about a world that seems almost idyllic, though, incredibly tense, and how it's about to be completely shattered by war.
So, here we meet our main character, Joan Langley. She's just 20 years old, an American journalism student who's out to see the world. And for her, this is the adventure of a lifetime. It's 1940, and Europe is in this bizarre holding pattern, this surreal quiet known as the phony war. It's that strange, anxious calm before the storm. But Joan, she just sees excitement, totally clueless about the catastrophe that's literally right around the corner.
Joan lands in Belgium, all set for her big European adventure. She's staying with the family of her dad's business partner, a man named Albert Freyberg. You can just imagine her excitement. A chance to see Europe, to write, to really live. What she doesn't know is that she's stepping right into the last few days of peace.
And the Freyberg estate, this place is way more than just a big house. Think of it as a fortress, but one made of glass. This family fled the Nazis in Germany way back in 1933, and they've poured everything into building this safe haven in Belgium. It's a symbol of everything they've accomplished, and, tragically, everything they're about to lose. But just because things look perfect on the outside, well, that's rarely the case, is it? Inside this beautiful manor, the Freyberg family is a complete mess of secrets, teenage rebellion, and a really dangerous denial about the war that's closing in on them.
At the heart of it all is this massive generational divide. You've got the parents, Albert and Mina. They've already lost their home once, and they're handling the new threat in totally opposite ways. He's a worried pragmatist, while she's just desperately clinging to normalcy, refusing to even think about running again. And then there are the kids. The sons, Willie and his buddy Jack, are just irresponsible playboys. The daughters, Marta and Anna, are pushing every single boundary they can find. And then you've got the nephew, Jerry, who's the only one who seems to see the political reality for what it is.
And the dynamic between the sisters, Anna and Marta? It's a total study in contrasts. Anna plays this game of being unattainable, the forbidden fruit. For her, it's about control. Marta, though, she goes the other way. She acts like a wild child, doing anything for the attention she thinks she's not getting, in a family that's totally consumed by its own worries.
And then we get to the secret, the one at the absolute core of this family. Albert reveals that his oldest son, Willie, isn't his biological child. Turns out he's the son of Mina's first love, a pilot who was killed in World War I. This isn't just some old family secret. It's the entire foundation of their marriage. It was a bond built out of necessity and loss, not love. And suddenly, so much of the tension holding them together and tearing them apart makes sense.
So, right as all these personal dramas are hitting a fever pitch, the phony war ends. History doesn't care about family secrets. The real war arrives, and it slams the door on everything else with brutal, terrifying finality.
For Joan, Anna, and Marta, the political unrest in Brussels feels like just another form of excitement. Their activist cousin Gary leads them right into the thick of anti-fascist demonstrations. To them, it feels like a thrilling game. They have no idea they're crossing that line from youthful rebellion into mortal danger.
And it's at one of these protests that the game stops. Cold. Genny's girlfriend, a really passionate activist named Madeline Darcy, is killed right there in the street. And just like that, the political turmoil isn't some abstract idea anymore. It's real, it's violent, and it's the first time death truly cracks open their protected little world. We see this moment through Joan's eyes, and you can just feel the shock. Holding Madeline as she died completely shatters that adventurous spirit she arrived with. The thrill of rebellion is replaced by the cold, hard reality of violence. This is the moment their innocence is just gone.
And then, on May 10th, it happens. The theory becomes reality. The German invasion starts at dawn with the sound of bombs. The radio confirms their absolute worst fears, and any illusion of safety they had just evaporates. That grand estate isn't a safe haven anymore. It's a trap.
Their only option is to run. The family frantically piles into cars and joins this terrifying flood of humanity, all heading south, all fleeing the German army. Their life of privilege? Over. A new reality of just pure, desperate survival is beginning.
And that escape is a literal nightmare. Picture it. The roads are just choked with desperate people. And from the sky comes this new kind of terror. The piercing scream of German Stuka dive bombers, strafing the columns of civilians without any discrimination. There's absolutely nowhere to hide.
In all this chaos, the war claims another person from their circle, Jack Langley, Joan's brother. The fun-loving, reckless young man is killed in one of those strafing attacks. His death isn't about politics or ideals. It's just sudden, brutal, and a direct result of being in the wrong place at the absolute worst time.
During the terror and confusion of the attacks, the unthinkable happens. The family gets separated. 2 cars, 2 different groups, now trying to navigate the horrors of a war-torn country completely on their own. That fragile family unit is now physically broken, and each half has to find a way to survive.
So for both of these groups, the journey becomes this desperate ordeal. They are not the wealthy Freybergs anymore. They are just refugees, lost in a war zone, facing death around every corner, and constantly terrified of being captured by the very enemy they ran from all those years ago.
But this journey, it's more than just running. It's a crucible. The fire of this war, it burns away everything they were, their money, their status, their secrets, and it forges every single one of the survivors into someone completely new.
And the changes are just profound. Joan, the wide-eyed student, becomes this hardened survivor who somehow finds love in the middle of all the chaos. Gary, the idealist, becomes consumed by revenge. But the biggest shock is Willie. The irresponsible playboy, he steps up. He becomes a leader, driven by this incredible new determination to save what's left of his family.
So where does that leave them? Well, their new reality is bleak. They're fugitives now in occupied France. They have no idea what happened to the others. Willie and Gary completely reject their German heritage. And Joan, she finds her purpose again, writing everything down, documenting their ordeal. They are no longer defined by who they were, but by one single desperate goal: make it to Spain and get to America.
And really, that's the question the story leaves us with. It's so much bigger than just this one family in 1940. It's a universal question, isn't it? When everything you know is stripped away from you, when your entire world is on fire, what's left? Who do you become when faced with that kind of absolute destruction?